Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome into O'Neill's Grill for our weekly Fan and Press Luncheon. This week we have JMU women's basketball coach Sean O'Regan as we're on the eve of the 2017 Colonial Athletic Association Women's Basketball Championship Tournament hosted here in Harrisonburg. Good afternoon once again. I'm Kurt Dudley, and a few other JMU sports notes before we do bring up Coach O'Regan. The men's season came to a close Saturday, 67-62 loss to number 2 seed College of Charleston. That was, of course, after the Dukes defeated Drexel to get into the quarterfinals. We want to congratulate UNCW on winning its second consecutive CAA crown, beating the College of Charleston 76-69 last night. By the way, Jackson Kent finished 20th on the all-time scoring chart. He finished with 1,228 career points, and he played in 129 career games, second only to Andrei Semenoff in JMU's history. Softball's record is now 16-3. Megan Good had a no-hitter against South Alabama this past weekend. Her ERA is smaller than it was last week when we were here, down to a 0.19. She has allowed just 2 runs in 72 innings, and she has 103 strikeouts at this point. She and the Dukes will face Central Florida tomorrow. The Knights are 10-6, and they'll be home for the first time this weekend. Saturday, hosting Pitt at 11 a.m. and East Carolina at 1:30. Sunday, again against Pitt at 12:30, East Carolina at 3. Both those Sunday games will be on Madison HD Sportsnet free video. Baseball, 8-2, taking 2 out of 3 from Buffalo over the weekend. That was their home opener. Today and tomorrow, they're facing Old Dominion in Norfolk. Today's game begins at 3 o'clock. And they begin a 9-game, 3-series homestand Saturday against Coppin State, 6:30 that start time. Also included in that homestand, a set against Iona and New Jersey Institute of Technology, NJIT. Lacrosse 5-1, up to number 18 on the coaches poll, number 12 on Inside Lacrosse Magazine. They play at number 6 Penn State. The Nittany Lions undefeated at 6-0. They're at home against Rutgers on Saturday. That game is on Madison Video and a 1 o'clock start time. And women's indoor track and field, they finished 4th at the ECAC Indoor Championships this past weekend. Carol Strock, single winner. She won the mile. She was the only individual winner for the Dukes. 1 week from today is JMU Giving Day, the second event. And the goals are 4,000 donors for the university, and the Duke Club will seek to raise $250,000 next Tuesday. That's the equivalent of 8 out-of-state scholarships. Out-of-state scholarships, $250,000, so $250,000. Hopefully you can help us out with that cause next Tuesday. Women's basketball, Dukes finished the regular season 22-7, 15-3 as the number 2 seed in the Colonial Athletic Association. Precious Hall, up to 2,181 points. She remains at number 4 all-time in the CAA women's basketball scoring list, number 2 at JMU. The schedule for the tournament, tomorrow it gets underway at noon. These games are on CAA.TV online. Number 8, Towson against number 9, Hofstra, followed by 2:30, number 7, UNCW, and number 10, the College of Charleston. Thursday in the quarterfinals, noon, 1 o'clock, Elon against the winner of Towson and Hofstra. At 2:30, number 4, William & Mary versus number 5, Delaware. At 5 o'clock, JMU against the winner between UNCW and Charleston. And at 7:30, number 3, Drexel against number 6, Northeastern. All of those games, again, online through CA.TV. Friday, Comcast takes over the video coverage. Semifinals at 4:30. The other game at 7 o'clock. If JMU advances on Thursday, the Dukes will play at 7. And Saturday, Comcast has the finals. That is also a 7 o'clock ball game. Let's bring in the head coach of the JMU Dukes, Sean O'Regan. Sean?
Hey, everybody. Yeah, we're excited about this weekend for sure. But, going back to the Charleston game, I thought it was a really important game for us to kind of get through the doubt, if there was any doubt of how good we are and who we are as a team. So I thought it was a perfect second half to have going into this tournament, and I thought it was a really important step for us, for the momentum and for the week ahead. feeling good and having different people step up and have FP finally, get going. So I was really happy with the second half. And again, putting away, I think, a very tough Charleston team, despite maybe their record. But it gives us really good momentum going into this weekend, and we're really excited about it.
How often have you mentioned last year's Charleston game in the quarterfinals to this team so far?
0. I'm at 0 right now, and I'll tell you why. Because we are not playing them yet, and we're not playing them yet. And I think it's a new team, it's a different team, and we've been talking about that, kind of valuing the game and not taking anything for granted. So I've kept that one quiet so far, but it will certainly come out as we get closer. But I think we're really working towards just really trying to get better every day, and it's been interesting, and I've gotten used to it because we haven't known our opponent the last couple of years because you're always waiting for somebody to win. But really just working on ourselves, and I really feel like throughout conference, if we've played like ourselves, we've come out on top. The 3 games that we lost, I didn't think we were ourselves, or we got out of our way in some way.
Coach, you had 46 points in the paint against Charleston. Was that the game plan to try to pump it inside, and did you respond, or was that just what they gave you and you took advantage of it?
Well, if I'm not totally mistaken, I think we had 44 points in the paint against William and Mary, and we just couldn't hit anything from the outside. But I never try to overemphasize one part of the game. I just feel like we have to go play our game. So, I think you kind of lose touch. We did it a long time ago with Drexel, where we said we got to score points in the paint, and now you're not looking at shooting threes. You're not ready to shoot threes, and the three is a really dangerous part of the game. So it's never been a hey, we have to go do this. But I think having an attack mentality and being aggressive and doing those things, getting to the offensive glass, I think now it falls into place. And it's certainly, that was a big part of our success, was especially the offensive glass with Savannah, with Tasia in there. And that's how I thought Precious got going, was the drive beginning of the second half where she got fouled on the baseline. So it's never, I never overemphasize any one part of the game, but the mentality is something we talk about every time.
One of the things we saw in the men's tournament last week was the fact that the 1 and 2 seeds started maybe a little bit slower in that first game than the 8, 9, or 7-10 winners, just because those guys had already played a game. How do you overcome that sort of fatigue? I'm not going to call it fatigue, but how do you overcome that slowness when your opponent is literally just coming off a game?
I think it's natural. I think it's crazy to me that I think we have an extra advantage over even Elon in that sense, where they haven't played on our floor with the balls as much as we have. Like, so since Saturday, we've played on the floor with the Spalding balls, and I think we'll have a level of comfort that some other teams that are just playing their first game won't. But I think I've been a part of both sides of that. Never on the women's side with the 7-10, 8-9, but when I was in the Missouri Valley, we were the 7-10, 8-9 a lot. And you play a game, you're feeling good because you just won, and you come out to play a 1 or 2 seed, and you have nothing to lose, and you let it fly. And I've seen it so many different times. It's a very natural thing. So I wouldn't say guard against it. We're going to come out and again, like we've worked on all year long, we're trying to set the tone early and defend early and get us into our offense, but hopefully come out and set the tone early. So I wouldn't say necessarily guard against it. I just want to pedal down from the start, regardless of who we're playing and where we're playing.
With JMU, the 2 seed at the Convo, your home floor, kind of a two-parter here. One is, are your players motivated by the fact that they're not the top seed on their home floor? And 2, with Elon being the top seed, do you expect this to be one of the more competitive CAA tournaments in a while?
Well, I was here the last 2 years we hosted, and neither year we were the 1. I think we were the 3 the first year, and maybe 3 or 2, and then I know the next year we were 2. So we won it and lost it as purple, where we were in purple. But yeah, I think it's. I don't know if it's motivation. I think we were really disappointed. We ended up losing William & Mary, and I don't know. I've gone a lot of different ways. this could motivate you. I put together a video of all of our past celebrations, like the last minute of each game. Maybe that motivates you. Maybe it is that we're the 2 seed and we're trying to chase something. Maybe that's your motivation. So I've tried to hit every little facet of maybe what motivates Kamai doesn't motivate P or Ania. So I've tried to throw them a lot of different ways to get motivated and just trying to be your best. But whatever button I can push, I'm throwing it out there right now. But I think it will be competitive. I think you'll see some, and I guess there was an upset last year. Northeastern won an upset game last year, but that's what I think. I fully expect that. I mean, I think the William & Mary Delaware game is a coin flip game. I think either one of them can give a good push to Elon. Obviously, I think our first round game with Charleston and Wilmington, we respect both of them. Both of them put good pushes on us down the stretch at their places. Towson just played Elon tough up at Towson. So I think our league 1 through 10 is as competitive as it gets. Us falling to the 2 seed, without losing to a top 3, Drexel or Elon, again, the William & Mary loss is I think a testament to how good even the bottom of the league is.
Coach, is there a particular aspect of your game that you think you're doing pretty well right now that maybe not show up in a stat sheet, but you as coaches look at it and go, we're really doing this maybe at the right time of the year?
I'm hoping everything. No, but no. I think what we really got to in the last Charleston game was moving the ball, and even moving the ball, Precious still got her shots, but it was we had 18 assists, I believe it was. So to our 6 assists against William & Mary, and that's a huge key for us. And when we move the ball, I think we're borderline unstoppable. So moving the ball, the last couple of days in practice, we really moved it well. There's a couple possessions that I was almost wowed with how well we're moving it. But I think our defense has done a pretty good job. And I think even again, I go back to the William & Mary game. We're still 62 points is to me it's a winnable number. And we just got cold from 3. So I think our defense is what really helped us start to get consistent after the Towson loss, where they scored like every possession down the stretch of that game. And that's what I thought flipped for us, and we took off from there. So I think our defense is what's going to keep us in that thing. And obviously you got to shoot the ball well to win a championship.
And sort of springboarding off of that, Logan didn't have any points the other day, but 7 assists.
Sure.
That a lot of people look at the no points and go, okay, well, maybe not a very good game. She was distributing a lot. Is that really kind of the role she needed to play in that game?
Well, yeah, I like that. If she can do that, that's great. That means she's being aggressive. That means she's penetrating. But I still want her. I want her 6 to 8 shots, and I want her to make 4 of them. And she needs to understand. She needs to take what they give her. And so if they're trying to, both her and Haley have a tendency to do that, where they think they have to distribute and find P. Well, yeah, if 2 people are gonna lean out towards P, you need to be able to go up and hit a free throw line jump shot. So I thought Logan played great. I thought Logan was a huge factor, and I put a lot of stuff out there. I actually put Haley back in, and was planning on going right back to Logan because Logan had played so well in the first half, and then we started making the run with Haley in the game, so I left it alone. And what I love about those two, they don't, it's like they're high-fiving. They know that it's one or the other. But I thought Logan played a great game. The 7 assists is very it shows how she's setting people up, but we're also knocking stuff down. But she needs to understand, and she does, that she needs to take what the defense gives her, whether it's a pass or if it's a shot, you got to be able to step up and knock it down, which she has in the past. So it's something she needs to make sure she continues to do.
I mean, there have been a couple of times this season where you've had the 2 of them out there together. What does that bring to your team when you have both point guards on the floor at the same time?
Well, it puts and it's going to happen again. I think it's a really good kind of zone offense lineup because Haley being another shooter out there, and when Logan has that thing rolling, she's as good a shooter. She I believe is statistically our best 3-point shooter. So, with her, those 2, and then P out there, I think that's a really good zone offense team. But it brings 2 point guards that are willing to pass the ball and are very kind of unselfish players and looking to get other people involved. I think it helps in that sense and that flow. I think they're both really good on the defensive end too. And Haley has a lot of knowledge, and that's what really helps her on the defensive end is she's been through so much. Logan's getting to that point, and I think Logan's a little tough little, I don't know, she's a tough little ball of muscle is what she is. So she can help us out on the defensive end as well. So they bring us a different element than even the like Kamaya. There's always one of them usually in the game, but even Kamaya, Haley, we got more length. But again, I think Logan and Haley at their best, it's a really good zone offense lineup because we pass the ball so well.
You talked about the fact you guys went a little bit cold from three in the William & Mary game. I mean, 4 of 42 over your last two games at the Convo. Where is the confidence in those 3-pointers? Because as I joked with you at the end of Wednesday's game, like there were a couple of them that sort of went down and came back up. Where's the confidence level with this team?
I actually think it's perfect. Okay, I think there's a statistics. There's a law of averages, and you're not going to shoot at a clip of 65% your whole. You're just not. It's fine. It's like what Logan had. Logan's run is as drastic of a change as you could see because she got so high. She was shooting 75% for a stretch of 4 games, but I think it's a law of percentages in that. So shots are always something that you can't really control. You shoot it. Your approach is always the same. You let it fly. Sometimes it's a millimeter off and it goes in and out. So the law of percentage is that it's like baseball. If you go 4 for 42, which, but you're bound to go 24 for 42 your next because we're 30%. I think we're 33% 3-point shooting team, and it hasn't shown the last 2 games. But if there's a dip, it's bound to come back up. So I think it's a perfect time for us to go through that going into the tournament because I think we'll get hot. I think you'll see. Savannah hasn't made any in conference. She's 0 for 9 in conference. I think she's going to rattle in 2 or 3. I think Logan's going to rattle in 2 or 3. I think Haley's going to hit, up to 10 to 12. I think Lexi could hit 10 to 12. Sky's the limit for P. The way she shot it the last 2 games, and she could get hot. Man, she could hit 18 threes in this tournament. So that's my mindset is that it's kind of the law of averages and that I know we're a good 3-point shooting team. We've shown it all year. So it's something that'll come around.
You said, nearly a week ago after the game against Charleston that you guys are going to get this rest during this break before the tournament, but you're going to have to be mentally prepared to play 3 games in 3 days. Sure. With the bulk of your team relatively new compared to the last couple of years, how have you been emphasizing that mental toughness and practicing that in these days leading up to the tournament?
We've been talking a lot about toughness, and we've been getting extra shots individually, but in practice we're going hard. And I got after them today because I didn't think they were talking. I didn't think they were into it as much, but they snapped right back into it. And the thing is, we're all competitors out here, and not in a bad way, but Elon doesn't care if we're tired. William & Mary doesn't care if we're tired, and we don't care if they're tired. You're out to compete, and you're out to become the best and get what we worked for all year. Now is not the time to be tired. So, go find the trainer, go find what works for you. Make sure you're not running around Harrisonburg, walking around the mall all day. Make sure you're getting your rest. But you got to make sure, man, that your mindset is there is no fatigue in that sense. And that I've talked a lot about mental toughness this whole week in a lot of different ways. It might be playing a high volume of minutes. It might be responding where you didn't play as much as you wanted to the first game, and now I need you the second game. You got to be able to snap back very quickly, and that's how our team has been all year. Is that Ania coming off this last game, Ania plays, I don't know what it is, 8 minutes, something like that. If that happens in the first round, and I need her in the semi, she can't be. She's got to be tough. She's got to be ready to respond. So we've been talking about toughness a lot this week in a lot of different ways. But now's the time. All you've worked, all the preseason, postseason, all that practice, all these games that we've built has earned us a 2 seed, and now it's time to go. Now you got to go be tougher than everybody else in this tournament in that, when you need that stop with 4 minutes to go to really help us go from 8 to 10 instead of 8 to 5, we've got that right there. And you're tough. You know what? You're tough enough to say, I'm too tired. I need a break. Let Savannah come in here and get this stop for me too. So there's a lot of different ways that can show toughness. But one of the ways we've talked about is that there's no tired. You're not getting tired, and no one cares if you are. There's no sympathy out there. So don't be.
Sort of springing off David's question, the fact you're playing in your gym They're home, probably sleeping in their bed. Other teams are in hotels where they can control more what their teams do. Is there an advantage to be here playing the familiarity to the convo versus being able to control what your team is doing and when they're doing it?
Yeah, there's an element of that, and so what we've decided to do, we're going to do all our meals together as if we left. So I can control a little bit of what they're eating, which I think is important. I think it's an advantage to sleep in your own bed, and that's why we decided not to do the hotel. You know, that's what we did the last 2 times we've done this, and I'm following Kenny's lead for sure. We did that, and I give him credit because the first year we ended up losing to Drexel in the championship, and he didn't knee-jerk reaction and change it, you know, and we ended up winning the second championship at home. So I think there's a huge element to that, is sleeping in your own bed and being as familiar and as routine as possible. So you drive to the game same time. You know, you're in your car. You're doing those things. The only thing I'll really, and I'm not a big crack the whip disciplinarian, like I'm coming by your apartment to do bed check at 10:30. It's just not me, you know. We're trying to get them to make good choices as young ladies growing up. So yeah, I'll say you should be in your bed. You know, you should be in your room by yourself 11 o'clock. But you know, I'm not going to be calling to check on them and stuff like that. But they're making good decisions, and they're willing to sacrifice for our team. And so I think in the end it's an advantage. Time will tell. I doubt that's going to be the reason. But I think in the end it's an advantage being comfortable and being in your routine.
You've talked a lot about this season You've talked a lot this season about both your team's bounce and your team's toughness. I have a sense I know the answer to this question, but at this point in the year, what's more important, that your team has the necessary bounce or that they have the toughness here?
I can't give you one or the other, because I think part of toughness is bringing your bounce to a championship game or a semi-game. I swear that in my experience, the toughest game is the semifinal game, because the championship, you're in the championship. Everybody can do the math. It's 40 minutes till the end of your season. So the semis is always the one where you're a little bit tired. Your adrenaline maybe isn't going as much as it is in the championship game, but I want both. So I want you to be tough enough to bring your bounce no matter what. So I'll be on both. When I'm doing my pregame speech, they'll both be on the board there. But we got to have both.
Anything else, gentlemen? All right, very good. Coach O'Regan, thank you very much. Good luck this weekend at the Colonial Athletic Association Championship Tournament. Again, the Dukes open up their bid on Thursday evening. They will face either the UNCW Seahawks or the Cougars of the College of Charleston. Those two teams will play tomorrow. Again, the tournament begins at noon tomorrow. Towson and Hofstra, then the College of Charleston. Towson and Hofstra, then the College of Charleston and UNCW at 2:30. Thank you for joining us this week here at O'Neill's Grill.